Hola, hi. Some of us really thrive in following a system to the T and being told exactly what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. And that's maybe why so many titles are so successful, with 3 ways of doing this, 5 things to blah blah blah. But I'm maybe an exception, I don't know. I think there are a few people like me who are maybe a little bit different, in the sense that we like to do things our own way. When I look back in my life, I was very happily, to a certain extent, following systems. For example, I had a phase where I was into Buddhism, and I was doing, I loved the chanting and some of the meditations, but it got to a point where when I was told how I should be, a certain number of things you had to do, how you should be doing it, it got too strict for me. And I'm a free spirit, that's what it is. So I kind of stopped at that point. And I've had that with quite a few things. Another thing I have noticed is that sometimes I would follow, for example, in acting it was the Lecoq method, which I loved, by the way. And I would really be very enthusiastic about it and learn everything about it, but I would not be one of those people who then would create shows that would be solely physical theater and that approach, and you could see it. I always would get to a point where I would be, I don't know whether bored is the right expression, probably not, but I kind of would be wondering what else is out there, and I would kind of try to find my own way again. And I do think there is a danger sometimes, especially in the arts and creativity, that we find a teacher, for example, and we do it exactly their way, how they are doing it. And you often can see pupils, from a certain artist, you can see that because it's the style of the one who's been teaching them. In Germany, there was in the area where I lived, was an artist called Gerhard Wendland, and you could see that the people who were studying with him had all his style in a way, and I think sometimes it's a very tough one. You obviously want to learn from someone, and then to somehow detach from that again and find your own way. And I sometimes wonder, or I'm a little bit exhausted, that in general there are, although I don't want to say that systems are wrong, but that there in general there are so many ways how people teach. It's a very defined system. They have developed it over the years, and it has very clear steps, and this is how you do it. And I sometimes think, yes, obviously it works for many people, but maybe not so much for people who are more like me. I would either get hung up on thinking I have to do it this way and then get frustrated with it, or rebel completely against it and not do any of those things anymore. And I kind of would love to see more things that are a little bit more adaptable and a little bit more flexible, that take the individual more into account. That yes, there are certain principles, of course they do work, but we are also very different beings, and I personally don't see enough of that flexibility out there when teaching people something, or trying to really help them to embark on change, for example. And I personally, I never have liked it when also with doctors who maybe tried to help me, that it's their way, and what I bring to the table doesn't count. And I think it's very easy to get lost into someone else's system. You kind of have having to give up on yourself to follow that system, and it shouldn't be that way. I think we should sit together at a table, and then I can bring what I know to it, and I see how you want to do things. And probably that's why I love improvisation so much as a tool, because it always has afforded me that freedom and getting in touch with myself, and seeing, staying open-minded and experimental, and seeing how that next step is. So all I have to say, I think I'm not so much about following a strict system. I'm about sitting together at a table and really encouraging you to find something that works for you. That's it. I would love to hear how that has been for you with systems, following them strictly or not. Are you more like a free spirit like me and a rebel? Then maybe check out what I'm doing. This is Anja Kersten. I work with hiding artists and creative entrepreneurs. Have a good day. Bye-bye.